Well, yesterday was the first official day of practice in the summer. Got everybody here. The only one that's not 100% full go from a contact standpoint will be a Tiki, but everybody else will be able to practice and do all the physical stuff. So day one was great. Seven new players, one walk-on. So totally different team, totally different feel. I think you'll see the look of them. Bigger, stronger. Does that mean good, bad? I don't really know. But day one was great. Everybody got a little time off, and now we'll gear up for 8 really good weeks of summer school and just kind of hit reset. And that's going to happen every single year. But really excited about year 4. Obviously, very proud of what we accomplished last year, but we'll move on. That's irrelevant, and see if we can continue to build off it.
So who's your starting 5?
Yeah, not answering. I made that mistake. That's a story for another day, but no, I will never answer that one again in the summertime.
All right, how do you approach the we've all written and covered it, but like the end of the Jalen and Mashburn era, and Donnie kind of officially having the keys, I guess, if you will. How do you approach kind of the changing of the guard a little bit with those guys gone?
Well, I'm not handing the keys to anybody. I think Donovan could be one of the best point guards in the country, but this is a collective effort, so it's nobody's program. Feels different for sure with the no Mash and House. Anytime you have a lot of new guys, you get excited, like, oh, we're going to miss those guys. There's no doubt about it. Although we may be bigger at the perimeter, Jalen will go down as one of the better guards to play here in a long time, and Mash was obviously very, very good as well. So it'll look different, but it's exciting, So I think there's things we'll do similar, but there'll be different things as well, and we'll have to tinker with what we think works with the personnel. But other than that, the beauty of last year, besides it was fun, and we went to the NCAA tournament, won a conference tournament championship, but they've tasted success. And when you're building a program, if you could taste that somewhat early, you can really use that as some motivation.
We also talk about the void left by JT Toppin, who's going to step into that role. I know you got some new guys.
We got a lot of players. We've got 16 players, and the JT thing the timing was a little bit challenging, but I feel like he had to do what's best for him, and I don't think anybody would argue that he had a great opportunity. So you're losing a really good player, but we've got some options behind him that I think we're excited about.
So with the 2 more conference games and the non-conference that we're hearing about, you feel really good about next year's schedule, I would assume?
Yeah, I've challenged a couple people internally to find a more challenging non-conference schedule than what we've put together in a long time. I haven't looked through it by any means, but you're looking at UCLA as a brand. St. John's, regardless of my dad being the coach, that's a brand in college basketball. Then you're playing Arizona State, potentially USC or St. Mary's, depending on that game. And then you're starting that home and home of VCU. So I know every fan base wants home games. Totally get it. I'm proud of getting VCU. I don't think we would have got it the first couple of years. But now I think we're somewhat at a point where maybe we're attractive to play because win or lose, it's a good net game. We certainly want to compete for championships, but I really feel like it's time to take the next step as a program and get back to national relevancy. San Diego State has been the class of our league for a long time. I feel like we should start to enter that conversation consistently. We've obviously had great success, but up and down over the last couple of years, and I feel like we should be in that conversation. So certainly not going to talk a lot about it. Let's let our play do the talking, but I feel like we have, our schedule was non-conference was certainly not what it is this year, what it was last year.
How much did your being a tournament team for the first time impact getting some of these guys to come to UNM?
Well, I don't know if some of them, I would assume Jovan had signed and Cade had signed before. But whenever you get, national relevancy, it helps recruiting. We've, the last 2 years, been ranked consistently. Obviously, when you get the exposure of an NCAA tournament or the Mountain West Tournament Championship on national TV, it shows what our brand is all about. Brand is huge. And when you talk about New Mexico basketball, you talk about fan base in the pit. And the more recent success you have, okay, even JT moves on to a different place, but he comes here, he could have potentially gone to the NBA. He has really good success in our program. Jalen House is getting opportunities there as well. So success just continues to breed success. And it's all part of it right now because it's ultra competitive with everything across the board. And so we've got to take advantage while we can.
You mentioned the timing with JP and the transfer portal was a little challenging, but what was it like for your staff just the last couple of weeks, just reaching out to players and kind of what that looked like?
Well, it's always a pain when you lose a kid a day before the portal closes. I'm not critical of how he handled it. He did what's right for him, and I think it worked out very well in his favor. But it does put you in a little bit of a bind. But there's a lot of good players available late now, so you can't panic. You can't just take a guy to take a guy. It's the access to watching film is not very difficult anymore. You can pull up Synergy and find these kids' clips, and you just got to evaluate. And so I think we did a pretty good job of that. I think we're going to continue to try to blend high school kids and transfers the best that we can. I really like our freshman class. Cade was impressive. Jovan was impressive. Daniel has got great upside. Dylan's a really good local piece as well. So we're going to continue to try to build a program and not have a million transfers, but you're going to have more transfers now than you ever have before.
This time last topic was unknown to us here. Is Daniel in that same position this year?
Well, JT was freshman of the year in the league. I think Daniel is a kid that we had on our radar and we really liked. He was kind of under-recruited. You're getting a lot of high school kids that are getting under-recruited because of transfers. So I try hard not to compare any one player, especially to a guy who's freshman of the year, but Daniel's got great upside. And in the old days, you'd be like, man, you get this kid for 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. It's just the hard part is none of them want to be patient anymore. Not saying Daniel doesn't. So you try to have the development in mind, but you also understand that you're going to have a conversation every year now, unless something changes, but I don't think it will.
How many of your 16 are here right now?
Everybody.
Nelly?
Yeah, everybody's here.
Yeah.
Is Nelly going home?
He went home.
He's already back.
Went home. He didn't have to get his visa renewed. So.
Did you guys pick him up at the airport just to make sure and all that kind of stuff, though?
No, he was good. We weren't. The issue was the visa renewal thing. Philip got his renewed, no problem. So I think it was a Nigeria thing. So we weren't too worried about it.
Is the system of college sports kind of broken because it's a free agent market every year, and then you have the NIL stuff? I mean, it's got to be.
It's a disaster. Yeah. It's a disaster. No way around it. It's. I don't know who to blame. I don't blame the kids. It's never been better for them in their lives, and they need to capitalize it. There is a small window for us all in this profession to make as much money as we possibly can make, because they're not gonna. It's just you got to take advantage of it. But yeah, there's no such thing as this system anywhere in sports. I don't have the answer how to fix it. I think it's going to change. I don't think it's going to stay the same by any means, especially as schools get involved. And that's going to make it even more complex for a lot of other sports. Maybe not men's basketball and football, but a lot of other sports. So I think every AD, president, commissioners are going to have to try to figure this thing out, because it's scary. It is scary because the fear of the unknown for, I think, everybody is real. It's real right now.
Did you play the TT and Nelly together?
Highly doubt it. Could. I don't know if it'll work.
I know you haven't named a starting five, but I'm going to take a leap and think Donovan has a good chance at starting at point guard.
Yeah.
Who are your other ball handlers?
Cade can ball handle. True. Phillip, Braden. Q's getting better at it. So I don't have a big concern with that. Phillip's 6'9", but he can play the point if you needed him to. True could play the point. So hopefully Donovan's available. Cade's going to be a really good player as well.
What are you expecting out of True? I mean, we saw that big leap from Donovan from freshman to sophomore. You thinking True might have that kind of same?
I hope so. That's CJ could be another ball handler. I hope he can. But everybody's different. He got a taste of it last year, which is great for him. He works hard. He's a great kid. He's competitive. So we'll see. I like what I've seen so far. He had an opportunity in the non-conference when guys were hurt, and I thought he was really good. But then, obviously, as we got more healthy, he didn't have as much of an opportunity. But I've always thought True's going to be a really good player, so hopefully he makes that jump this year.
What does Phillip bring to the table?
Phillip brings size and skill. He is a legit 6'9", and he could play the 1, 2, and the 3. He could play the 4, but I don't think you're going to need to do that on this team. But similar system offensively to what Arizona ran. Now, he didn't play a lot, but he fits right in there. So, you can come off of ball screens. He moves the ball. He's an elite-level passer, terrific. And he's got size, all the things that we were looking at. And a phenomenal kid. Great.
Talking about Jovan, too. I've seen a lot of videos of him on Twitter and stuff. How's he looking?
Yeah, it's Jovan. No, it's good. He is impressive. Really, really impressive. High-level skill set. Cerebral. Can really shoot it. Can really pass it. One day, but I haven't seen a whole lot of weaknesses. So, really, really like him a lot. A lot.
And when you got here, the roster is what it was. It's been this evolution to this point of getting bigger and stronger, especially in the backcourt. Do you like the size of the backcourt right now?
I do, yeah. Like I said, I think you're going to see the size and be like, wow, it's going to be better. Like, we're going to miss Mashenhouse. Absolutely. Although they were small, like, it wasn't a problem versus a big team in San Diego State. Now, I thought Clemson exposed us size-wise for sure. So as we're trying to, compete with these power 4 or 5s or whatever, like, you got to have size. And we definitely looked the part, but, will you be able to put the ball in the basket as much? That I don't know.
Will Mustafa play before after what you saw last year?
Yeah, of course. I think JT obviously emerged as one of the best freshmen in the country. But Mustafa was 6th man of the year, So, as I said before, we have a lot of players, so competition's going to be great. But Mustafa's got a skill set, and he'll be here all summer, which I think will help him. And I think he'll have a really good year.
You've still got a whole summer to kind of see what all of these guys look like together on the court. But last year defense was kind of a huge identity to you guys as a team. Is that something you're still going to push no matter what the roster kind of looks like?
Of course. And I think if you get bigger and stronger, normally your defense should be able to hold up pretty good. But yeah, I think that's why we were a good team. We were top 25 in the country analytically, defensively, and that needs to be a cornerstone. Although we've put up great numbers offensively, like, you got to be able to defend, you got to be able to rebound. Certainly, we'll continue to harp on that.
I know you mentioned some general thoughts on the schedule being tough and all that, but how close are you with the rest?
One more. Close, yeah. Trying to solidify that opening night game.
So
Hopefully next week or two.
we play on the 6th, considering you're playing
Yeah, the Monday. I think it might be the 4th. Yeah.
Going back to the 2 more conference games during the conference season, it was that situation where it was unbalanced and could benefit, whatever. Yeah, you like the fact, I'm sure, that that's changed and you play everybody twice.
I like it. There are people in our league that argue against it. San Diego State being one, and I understand their point. because San Diego State's been in the tournament more than anybody, so they would probably know more than all of us. They have the benefit of scheduling because you can drive to them, where we do not. That makes it a little bit more challenging. I think our league is very, very unique because I still don't think we get the credit of being a Power 5, but we're so close. We're not a mid-major. We're so close. But scheduling is very, very hard. So this gives us 2 less games to schedule. It gives a true round robin, which I love. So there could be the argument, I've been in the league 3 years. I've had 4, 4, and 6 teams NCAA tournament. That's damn good with 18 league games. So you could argue, why would we change? I think it's too late now, so we're just going to figure it out.
You guys got 3 new coaches in the league. I'm sure you met some of them or all 3 of them. I don't know if Wyoming had switched at the coaches meeting yet or not.
He was not there yet, no.
Okay.
I told Linder he should have taken the job before the coaches meeting,
Yeah.
so he could have gotten out of it, but he's a dummy.
Do you know any of the 3 new guys, though?
I know Sonny. I know. I don't know Vance Wahlberg real well. I met him. Who's the third one?
At Utah State, Calvin.
Yeah, I know Jared a little bit. So I know all of them, not extremely well, but I think they're all going to do a great job. I know Fresno's a challenging one, but I think Coach Wahlberg will do a great. He's got that dribble drive identity, which has been amazing. And then Utah State and Wyoming have been consistent winners. So I think all of these guys, it depends on what their support level, especially now more than ever. I don't care how good of a coach you are. If you don't have support administratively, NIL, you got no chance. So I think it's up to those schools and every school to compete. And if they compete, those guys will win. If they don't, they won't.
I mean, like you said, it's not really handed to me, so I still got to work hard this offseason and summer, prove that I could play at that level. And I'm just excited. We have a really fun team. I'm excited to see what we can do this year.
What might be different for you personally, not the team necessarily, but like out of you, what do you want to improve on? What might we see that we haven't seen before?
I mean, just more of a leadership role, I guess, being more vocal on the court, because I feel like I'm an upperclassman now, just being more vocal with everything I do in the game.
I would imagine you had options at the end of the season. I'm sure people were coming after you from all angles. Your decision to stay here, what went into that? And it seems like you were pretty comfortable with it.
I mean, just trusting in Coach Pitino and Coach Chua. They talked to me a lot the offseason because there's some teams that wanted me. But just staying loyal to where I committed the first time. My family's big on loyalty, so we kind of just stayed true to what we did.
You notice the difference in the size? You tried to maintain?
Oh, yeah, 100%. We got a lot bigger this season. I mean, last year I was kind of one of the taller guys. Now I think I'm the shortest on the team. So, I mean, it's just we got a lot more size, and I love it.
You guys did have one. Well, you guys had a few players leave, obviously, but one that I guess surprised some people because it's the day before the end of the transfer window opened, and JT had a hell of a season last year. What are the teammates' thoughts when a player who was so important to last year's team moves on? What do you guys think as players and teammates? I
mean, of course, it always sucks. JT is a phenomenal player, and we'd love to have him, but we wish nothing but the best for him to succeed anywhere he goes, really.
Talk about trying to develop more of a leadership role this season, and you guys have a completely different roster. How do you hope to do that maybe starting this summer?
I mean, just starts being in the gym. They see we all work out. If I'm working hard, they're going to work hard, just kind of leading by example in a way, and then be more vocal during our workouts and practices. It just kind of starts during summertime.
That pick and roll you guys had, you and JT specifically had last November, especially before people started scouting it a little bit more, but that pick and roll you and him particularly had in the chemistry. How do you sort of work on maybe picking who that might be this year, or just work on everybody? I guess that's what the summer's for a little bit, but do you single one guy out and say I think this is the guy?
No, not really. I mean, last year it was just more so JT because me and him were in the game a lot together, and he was able to catch my passes at a high level. This summer, I'm just kind of really trying to focus on throwing those passes to everyone I can in the pick and roll, mainly Nelly because that's my starting 5, I'm guessing. So just go from there and see how much he improves on it.
Obviously, a lot of changes in the backcourt. It seems like the only guy that really had experience with. What stands out about all the new guys in the backcourt that were brought in?
I mean, they're all amazing. We've been working out every day together. Like CJ over here, we've been phenomenal together. It's me, him, True at the running mates. We've been playing great, so I'm excited for it.
What do you think? It was only about a week, but what did you think when Braden was going to leave and then came back. I know he's your boy, so what'd you think about that?
I knew he wasn't going anywhere. That's my guy. I knew he wasn't going anywhere.
Like, I know the schedule's gotten a lot better too, but you have a chance to play UCLA. You get some more high-profile games. Is this kind of the payoff for what's gone on the last couple of years?
I'm hoping so. I'm excited. We have a lot of good high-level games. It's going to be a lot of fun. Everyone was talking about how our non-conference was and all that. So, I guess we get to prove it to them this year.
Clemson exposed you guys for the lack of size in the backcourt. 3 guys are 6'2" or shorter. Do you feel like this team has addressed those needs?
Oh, 100%. And we're all getting bigger and stronger in the weight room this summer. I myself got pushed around a little bit, so I got to add some weight onto myself too. I think we have the height we need now. We're going to be amazing.
Have you played Clemson back in your mind a lot since that game?
You think about it, of course. You see it all over the internet and stuff. You hear about it. So you're always going to be reminded of it. So it's just kind of motivation for us.
What's it like coming off a run like that? You guys win the Mountain West tournament. You're in the top 25 again. You go to the NCAA playing an ACC team. The come down, I would imagine, is pretty emotional. But now the expectations are what they are here in New Mexico. But now they're even higher.
Coach B said the other day in our team meeting, we really aren't satisfied with last year. We came 6th place in the Mountain West. Yes, we won the tournament. We came in 6th during the regular season, then got eliminated first round. We want a lot more than that, so we still have a lot of motivation on our back to go somewhere far.
Just start with the real basic. What brought you here? Why this choice?
I would say the biggest reason is just the style of play that Coach Pitino plays here. They like to play in transition. They like to get the ball up and down, and that's how I want to play for my last year.
When did you get here?
June 1st.
Okay, so
Friday.
Almost a week.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yes,
so you've been able to run a little bit. I guess you guys just had the one formal practice.
Right.
But you've been able to run with some of these guys a little bit. What's the initial thought? I know it's been less than a week, but what are the initial thoughts of this roster?
Man, I'm excited. Like you said, Nags Donovan, we added a lot of size. So playing with those guys on defense and offense is incredible. They're long wingspan, they're long, athletic, and jump. It's going to be a fun time, very fun time.
And what are we going to see out of you? What position do you envision? I know it's a long road ahead, but what do we expect out of you?
Playing alongside Donnie, being his guy in the corner when he wants to throw it to the corner for the 3. This year I want to be more consistent from the 3 and off the dribble shoot for sure.
Just by your size, you look like a physical guard. Is that part of your calling card?
Yes, sir. I believe it is. I'm a mismatch problem for small guards, and then when there's bigger guards on me, I can step out and shoot it as well. So I think that is a positive for me. So.
Hey, doing Jared Chester working with PR Communities 13 years in town. Can you just talk about Donnie, talked about him running with you, and just talk about playing with him and True, the level of competition, the level of athleticism and stuff you see.
No, for sure. Donnie's a great point guard. Like you said, he has the pick and roll game. He has, the understanding to pass the ball, when to pass the ball, and when to keep it. True, great athlete, and can shoot it as well. I'm just excited to go day by day with these guys.
Are you guys really pushing each other?
For sure, yeah. In the weight room, in the weight room and then on the court for sure. So.
As far as your position, you said I want to play alongside Donnie. Would you play with 3 if needed?
Yeah, if need be, for sure. I'll play any position Coach B wants me to play, for sure.
Lauren Greenwood, KO4. So when it comes to being on a brand new team with a lot of different roster changes as well, how do you build things in the summer? Is it just as simple as reps, or what else goes into that?
Reps, locker room, outside of the court stuff, off the court stuff, just being around each other mostly, I would say, anytime we can. Getting food, just going back to the gym at night, just staying with each other for sure.
CJ, I'm Will Weber from the Santa Fe newspaper. What's it like when you enter the transfer portal? Are you just completely drowning in attention? Because I'm sure you had offers to go everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty much just you are drowning with a lot of attention and a lot of calls and a lot of texts. For myself, I just try to stay true to what my principles are and what I'm looking for in the school.
You get refocused on New Mexico as
for sure. Yes, sir. I would say. Yes, sir. I like just the way Coach Pitino plays. Like I said, the way I've watched. One of my best friends actually goes to Colorado State, Jalen Lake. and I watch their games, and I watch, New Mexico, of course, and I'm like, yeah, the way they play, I want to play like that.
The fans help as well. Yeah.
That put me over the top right there for sure. The fans.
Going from one pit to the other.
Exactly, the real pit now.
This one's still a little bit more.
Yes, sir. For
So
sure.
the expectations of most people
Mhm.
that come to the games is off the charts.
Yeah.
Does that excite you? Is that something you got to live up to?
No, it definitely excites me. As a player and as a competitor, I want to go out there and make the fans proud for sure. So it excites me.
What do you?
Kind of piggybacking off of that, I mean, we heard it from Donnie. They're not satisfied with last year. The returning guys really kind of making that the precedent. Like, we want to be better. Are you feeling that from this program?
I am, and I think me just coming in wanting to win as well, it just adds, a cherry on top. For sure.
So I'm curious I asked you the initial thoughts of the roster and the players and stuff like that, but what's your initial thought of like just sort of the vibe and the move? Because I know Coach Pitino, I don't know if you've gotten to know him well on the court yet,
Yeah.
but real sarcastic kind of guy
No, he is,
and
for
all
sure.
that. Donnie's a lot more serious, and
Yeah.
he's the starting point guard and kind of the de facto leader a little bit. Is this a serious vibe? Is this a joking vibe, like laid back? What is it so far?
It's always serious when you're on the court. Not too serious, I would say. Right now, we're still learning each other and still learning, all our roles and stuff. But yeah, Donnie's serious, like you said, and when we're on the court, it means business in between those lines.
Yeah, Donovan is the energy guy for the team, but one of the players you're replacing, Jalen House, was that emotional guy who would interact with the fans, other players,
Right.
everything. What can we expect to see out of you when you're on the floor? Are you boisterous? Or are you kind of quiet?
I would say I'm a little bit boisterous, but I think the Pitt fans will get me riled up quite a bit. So I'll take a few cues from Jalen on that for sure.
CJ, my name is Ron Burke. I'm with KOET Channel 7.
Yes, sir.
This is your third school.
Yes, sir.
Does that help in the transition to a new environment with new players and having to learn on the fly and get it down early?
Yeah, basketball, is a universal sport. So, a lot of the terms and a lot of, the actions are kind of the same. But, me coming from two other schools, it really does help. The work ethic's still there. The level of intensity is still there. So, it really helps. Yes, sir.